Hi, my name is Marcello Arrambide. I'm the founder of the Day Trading Academy. Today, I wanted to take you behind the scenes to give you some of the compelling reasons and the forces behind why the Day Trading Academy exists. As an academy that's been extremely successful and is still growing, it'd be really easy to go ahead and highlight all our successes. But what I really wanted to do is share with you a little bit of the DNA of all the people and backgrounds from around the world that we've helped to be able to have their financial freedom and what we can describe as the lifestyle, which is freedom. Where did my journey begin? I can't say that it's been an easy process, but I think that it's been very gratifying. I was born in Venezuela. Obviously, we had to escape that situation, and also I didn't have a father growing up, so that's something else that we had to escape. I was living in a 2-bedroom house with 2 families in Tampa, Florida. I had to work not necessarily for the things that I wanted, but the things that I needed. So by the age of 16, I was working 4 jobs. I left the high school early to be able to work, and obviously I had to go out and get what I needed, because otherwise, with the situation that we had at home, it wasn't really that easy. Why the Day Trading Academy? I remember this process of becoming consistent, and obviously the day trading world is a very close-knit kind of group, where obviously if one person sees success in a chat room, they want help so they can see success, etc., etc. So I remember that eventually I started helping other people to reach the consistency, and then there was a person that wanted to be a partner at a company. I was the person in charge of teaching everybody, and eventually it got to the point where this person was selling things that they shouldn't sell, that really wasn't helping people. They started treating people inside the company, including myself and others, in a very, very bad manner. So it showed a lot of character of that person in the company. So I decided to leave that company because I didn't want to be a part of that. One, because I didn't want to treat customers that way, because I went through that when I first started trading, and I didn't want to do that to somebody else. So I was traveling around the world doing my own thing. I had my travel blog, and there was a few traders from that previous company that I was a part of that found my travel blog. They reached out to me, they wanted me to help them become consistent, and that's really when the vision was created with Day Trading Academy. I made an agreement with them. I said, look, tell me how much you want to pay for the training, we'll decide that we can agree on, and then from there, my idea or my goal wasn't necessarily just sell courses, right? My idea was to really create something that would allow people to change their life and have the financial freedom. And now, fast forward a few years, where we have traders from all over the world. Those first group of traders are now the ones that are teaching the next generation of traders. I think it's something that's really special, and it's been an amazing process, to be honest with you. And I honestly, a lot of the traders now in DTA are I consider family, and I wouldn't have it any other way. It explains why the Day Trading Academy exists, and if any part of the video resonates with you, then I highly, highly recommend that you consider day trading as a lifestyle. And if you choose to take this path of financial independence and freedom, I sincerely ask you to consider the Day Trading Academy. I'll see you soon.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for taking the time to attend this informational webinar. Let me see if I can get myself on here. Let me see. Okay. So again, my name is Dominic Marasigan. I'm with Day Trade Asia. In fact, I want to see who's over here. In fact, there's Delta Bravo. In fact, I've spoken to you by email. In fact, if you don't want to unmute your microphones, that's fine. You can do the chat. And also there's Jovito Avellano. Just want to make sure. Delta, do you have experience in trading right now? I know Delta, you have some. What are you trading right now? You can either put in the chat box. Just want to show. Just want to see. Here we are. Forex, Sovito, you're trading Forex. Okay. How's that going for you? How long you been trading Forex, Sovito? For how long? So make sure that I know the most of the people here, that if the ones that have experience. Delta Bravo, how about you? I think you've done some trading, you said, but you were trading E-mini futures as well. So see, Jovito, how long have you been for 2 years not doing well? Okay. May strategy ka ba? Do you trade a strategy, or basta you just have a gut feeling how you enter trades? That No, I traded ES. Okay, so Delta traded ES. Good. Yeah, support and resistance. That's how most forex traders trade. I used to trade forex as well for 3 years until I found out that I can't get consistently profitable. I keep on feeding the funding and funding, and by that time I already gave up. Like I said, my journey to find my trading journey, or to find this consistent system, I lost over 100,000 US dollars. That's my trading journey, and I don't want you guys to go through the same thing. Maybe not lose that much, but at least lose money, right? So I'd rather guide you guys, not go through the same things that I did. 6 months without any consistent success, so gave up. Okay. Were you trading a strategy at all, Delta, or is it just also what Jovito was doing, support and resistance? Because first of all, in futures, in ES, or any trading for that matter, you need to be trading a strategy. Breakout and reversals. Okay, so mostly when you have the breakouts, you have both the supply and demand zones, or the support and resistance zones. Okay, you're Delta. You're here in the Philippines, or you're somewhere else? I know Jovito here is in the Philippines. Jovito, where in the Philippines are you? Saan ka ba sa Pilipinas? Ottawa. In fact, I have four students from Canada. They're all from Ontario. Some from Toronto, mostly from Toronto. Jovito, you're from Cebu. Okay. Yeah, in fact, I have another student right now who just signed up, and their first session happened last week. And he's from he's from Calgary. So a lot of Canadians have been my students, in fact, up to now. Hello, Jovito. Okay, you're from Cebu. Okay. Um, Delta, are you Filipino by chance, or are you Canadian, or maybe you can be Canadian Filipino? Oh, you're Indian. Okay. So I have Ish. Do you see my student? Well, he just graduated. He got a funded account. In fact, you'll see his slide later this presentation, because he got a funded account, and it took him, once he completed the 6-week course, it took him 1 month, and he got a funded account, a $50,000 funded account. So before I go on, again, that's, at least I know you guys. Some of you have experience in trading, so you may know what's going on. In fact, your trading journey is still continuing. But I'd rather, would you want to know that you need to have someone guide you who've been through the same thing. So that's why you need a mentor, instead of wasting your time trying to find out which system out there is good. A lot of courses out there are offered, but you don't know, there's not really that guidance, right? And on top of that, I think there's not a lot of education firms that teach trading, or for that matter, if they do teach trading, what do? In fact, they do not. Once you learn the system, they don't follow through with you. I at least help follow through with my traders to make sure they can pass, get a funded account, and you'll see that as we go through the slides here. Okay, and I think I'm the only education firm that are affiliated with these funding firms to help you get funded, rather than trade your own account, rather than risk your own account like I did when I lost over $100,000. My biggest problem is not knowing when you're over trading, right? Or when the market is in a sideways moving market, right? When it's ranging, that's when you get chopped out. And with the legacy strategy, you'll know that exactly when that happens. Okay, so let's continue with this again. My name is Dominic Marasigan, and my trading experience, like I had mentioned before, really began back in 2010. It's been quite a while now, you know. So it basically began in 2010. Let me see here. Hold on. Let me get my slide to match up on here because it's not matching up. Here we go. There we go. Okay, now you guys can see that. Okay, basically it began in 2010. I started like everyone else. That's when they started trading. I was more into forex. Again, I mentioned before I did that for 3 years, and it was not profitable. In fact, I had a full-time job. I was doing that on a part-time basis when I was coming home from work, and I just wasted 3 years not getting any profits. So I decided I have to find a system or trade an instrument that will help me get a second stream, a second income stream, right? Because I wanted to leave my job because I didn't like I liked my job, but I didn't like the how much time I spent. I was an IT director at a company, and I was working at least 14 to 16 hours a day, and it was just killing me. So I needed something that will also make the same amount of money I was making, but at the same time, it didn't take me that long to do it, right? So I started with what happened then. I went over to binary options, and there's a lot of binary options out there before when it got banned. In fact, I don't see any binary options out there as much as before, because now there's a lot of countries that are banning binary option brokers. I traded binary options here back in the US. It was an exchange called Nadex. And in Nadex, it was basically regulated, it was a regulated exchange right here, right? I did that in 2012. Again, Nadex is basically called North American Derivatives Exchange, and they were also regulated by the same uh, regulatory body that's regulating the futures market, the E-mini futures, the CFTC. And they're both based in Chicago, Illinois, where I'm from. Uh, Again, here I think my background is basically I was born here in Manila, in the Philippines. I left here when I was 4 years old, and I grew up in the U.S. In fact, I grew up in Southern California, but I ended most of my time living in Chicago. Um, and then you're in cybersecurity, okay, great, IT. I was more in the POS, hardware POS. That's what I was doing, setting up all the stores, the big box stores like Target, Walmart, all the big brand stores. Well, anyways, so what I did what happened was again I grew up in the States. I came back here in the Philippines back in to attend college. I graduated, then I went back to the U.S. and then I got. And this is what I hate about working for another company rather than having your own company. Is basically they had to do downsizing because at that time, I think at that time it was a 2000. No, wait, when was that? 2012, something like that. 2012. They decided to go downsizing because they were losing some money, and so they got rid of the highest paid employees in the company. That included the CIO, the CFO, and myself, since I was an IT director. So at that time, I was what 50 years old, and I didn't want to go back to the look for a job at 50 years old. So I was already trading futures, and I decided to take the big step and make it full time. I was doing it part time. I was making money, but this time that was like a blessing in disguise. Where now I had to do it full time. I moved here in the Philippines back in 2014, and I've been here in the Philippines since then. I never have been back since then because one, because of the pandemic, and two, I just didn't want to go back. I liked it here. I started trading here. In fact, the reason I started trading here was because the cost of living was a lot cheaper than it's a lot cheaper than the U.S. where I was staying. So the amount of money I was making in trading basically took me a long ways because the cost of living here in the Philippines is a lot cheaper. So with that, I got hired by a firm called Binary Trade Group. In fact, I was doing it remotely from here. I was providing live trade signals with Binary Trade Group. As you can see here, um, next slide here, they gave me a trading room. In fact, I would call out the signals in the binary options. So you can see here some of the subscribers there, they were making money off my signals, right? And they liked that because they didn't have to think. They just followed my signals and they made money. And so that got me to thinking, what if I'm gone? And which eventually I left them. And what would happen to them if they're going to be just following me? So I decided to say, I told them, don't you want to learn why I enter these trades or how I enter these trades rather than just following me blindly? So that's when I started my mentoring or coaching career, as you may say, when I said, you know what, I might as well share my gift that I'm blessed with, share it with others rather than just giving them signals to trade with, and that's it. After BTG or Binary Trade Group, Apex Investing. In fact, they're the ones who are also the owners of Apex Trading Funder Trading, or should I say Apex Trader Funding. That's it. They're the same owners of that fund, or the prop firm that funds traders. I worked with them through, again, I was doing their indicators here. I was testing their indicators that I would use in my trading. At the same time, they gave me a trade room. As you can see here, if you'd like to follow Dominic's trades in the Nadex Trading Pit, just subscribe and I would be trading the NQ, which is NASDAQ. That's another stock index. This CL is crude oil. This is Dow, the Dow index in the US, and also the ES, which I'm currently trading right now, which is the S&P 500. So I was trading all those instruments with the indicators that I tested to basically, I beta tested those before they gave them to the subscribers. So at the same time, I tested those and also traded those indicators, and it was actually a good system. But the thing is that what I didn't like about it, there were so many indicators there. It bogged down my laptop. It would use a lot of resources just to operate all those indicators. And I'm not big on a lot of indicators, right? I'd like to keep it nice and simple. So what happened after that, I left Apex. In fact, up to now, I still talk to Daryl, the CEO. And so I left Apex and I wanted to find a maybe another system that is a lot simpler. So I found out, what did I find out? I found out, I don't know if you know Marcello Arambide, who you saw in the beginning, right? He was my mentor. He's the one who taught me the legacy strategy, which I teach my students now, and which I trade now to make my living, right? Um, so I found him because what he was doing when I found him, he was traveling all over the world. And I said, "What are you doing when you don't?" I go, "What job do you do when you can?" Because I saw his blog. I was following his blog called Wandering Trader, and so that got me questioning what was he trading that he can do this travel around the world funded by his trading. So I found out he was day trading E-mini futures. So I decided to sign up with his class. It was, at that time, it was held in Toronto, Canada. So close to you there, Delta Bravo. And this was back in 2013, 2012 it was, I think, 2012, 2013. And it was a 1 week intensive, on 1 week intensive class. It was called Military Trading University. And I learned the legacy strategy there. And from that point on, as the old saying goes, history was done there. and that's where I started trading the E-mini futures. So here's my review of that course that I took after I got out of that class.
My name is Dominic. I'm from Chicago, and basically my background, I've been trading Forex for the past 3 years, and now I'm in futures. I've been trading futures for the past year with another type of system. I was kind of basically unhappy, and now I've found Marcello in his day trading academy, and it's where you find your aha moment. And I found my aha moment, and I just started 2 weeks ago, and I know this is going to be very successful for me, and I'm transitioning to become a full-time trader. It's better than I expected. I learned a lot, and like I said, my aha moment occurred on the second day.
My name is Nikolai. I'm 29 years old. I day trade futures.
So anyways, back to this. Basically, what happened was when I got done with that, Marcello found out how I was trading. I became consistently profitable, and he hired me as one of his trader coaches, or what we call master traders. Now, to be a master trader, it was required that you trade a live account with your own money, and you were consistently profitable trading the legacy strategy. So I became one of his master traders. This was at that time Day Trading Academy in the US, and all his classes were done online. So when I was here living in the Philippines, I was basically coaching some students in the US. As you can see here, I was a master trader in the Philippines, and also coaching students online, and that's what I did for maybe close to a year. And what happened was then Marcello decided, he came here in the Philippines, he did some free workshops here in the Philippines, and we talked, and what happened then is then he decided to open up what we call Day Trading Academy Philippines. So he has another school in Latin America, and that's really big in Latin America. I think he has 2 physical schools there, right? He was opening, in fact, we had a physical office here where our classes were being done on site rather than online. The Day Trading Academy in the States are all done online, and the advanced classes are done on site. That's the only difference. So we were the only Day Trading Academy that was doing all the classes on site. So this is how we started here in the Philippines.
Absolutely excellent time in Philippines. We're getting our day trading center started out here with one of our master traders named Dominic. Super fun story. If you guys want to hear it, I think I'm going to do a separate video talking about the process here, all the videos I took, so let me know if you guys want to see it.
I started with DTA and futures because I was inconsistent with my Forex trading, and I've been trading Forex for on and off 10 years. And when I learned about futures and the benefits of this market, the less risk and a better structure and better setup, I tried to learn futures from one of Marcello's students. And when I learned that Marcello is bringing DTA in the Philippines, I decided to sign up to his class.
I learned about DTA in the internet, and I was lucky enough to meet Marcello in person, and Dominic, who is our Filipino mentor. Since I'm nearing my retirement, I'm planning to trade after I retire with futures. And I really hope that since I just started about 3 months ago, I think I'm doing quite well as what Dominic told me. And I'm looking forward to improving my trading.
I chose DTA because of my teacher. He was also a graduate of DTA, and he highly recommended this DTA system. Also, for futures, since I wasn't doing too well in Forex, so I tried out futures and it seems a lot better.
So the program is designed to make sure that students can learn on their own time, on their own way. I work full time, and so the module provided me enough time to learn it slowly but meticulously. Dominic, my mentor, my coach, is giving me a lot of advice about what I do wrong, what I do right, and they are very consistent with the advice that they are giving us.
I really like the one-on-one coaching. The best way really to learn is to be with a mentor who knows what he's doing. And I really think that the DTA staff headed by Marcello is doing a great job of doing a mentorship with us.
I would recommend DTA, especially to those who have not had any luck trading other systems and other classes.
So like I mentioned before, when it was here in the Philippines, everything was done on site, right? But apparently what happened, the pandemic hit, and we had to shut down Day Trading Academy Philippines. So that's what happened. And you can see here when it was in operation, or when we were doing Day Trading Academy Philippines, we were all over the Philippines. In fact, we were this right here is in, I'm trying to think where this is now. This is in Davao right here. And then this is in Clark. This here, well, I went with Marcello. He was going to open at that time before the pandemic hit. He was going to open the Day Trading Academy Kuala Lumpur, or Malaysia, and that's where we were. He was meeting with some people to open that up, but the pandemic hit. Here we are. This is the main office here in the Philippines, which is in Bonifacio Global City. In fact, our online classes, or not online, on-site classes, our batches would average between 50 to 20 students. And you can see Marcello would visit quite often to surprise the class. And this here is in Cebu. Again, we were there in Cebu several times conducting classes there as well. So, and here is Marcello. He's one of my trading coaches. His name is Jerry. He was in fact, he was one of my students and became a trading coach. He's now trading both Forex and he trades Forex. He swing trades Forex, but he's also trading futures as well. So that's what happened when the pandemic hit. Again, we ceased operations with Day Trading Academy Philippines, and now we became Day Trade Asia. With Day Trade Asia, everything is done online. So it's basically a virtual education, trading education. As you can see here, I post, if not all, most of my trades online, or on YouTube, I should say. I either live stream on YouTube maybe twice a week, and the other 3 days I do on a live trading room, where I literally explain why I'm entering a trade. So I do now both. I trade on MNQ. This is micros, and also the ES. The micros is more advanced course. That's why right now with the basic, you'll learn the system on ES. Okay. So my thing here between you guys is basically which do you think is more important to you? Is it about the money, or is it about the skills? Just want to ask you guys, what's important to you, the money or the skills? You want to just type in there, so at least I know. I want to know what your mindset is. Let me see here. Skills, good. Delta, good. Jovito, that's good. Both on who else here? Yeah, skills is the most important thing in my opinion, in my humble opinion. Skills is the most important thing, because after you acquire skills or learn new skills, the money will eventually come, right? It will eventually get there. But the thing is, the thing about that is, yes, we acquire skills either by, oops, the wrong pen there, sorry. We either acquire skills, right? Either by our job, right? Or we learn a new skill, right? I'm just trying to get my ink color here on my, it just doesn't want to get it. Okay, here we go. Oops. Yeah. So it's either the skills, once we learn that, what does that mean? We have the potential to make money. What do we mean potential? It doesn't mean we automatically start making money, right? We actually get the potential to make money. What I mean by potential, it means you have to work, you have to do something to get it, rather than it just comes to you because you have more skills, or you've acquired more skills, or you learn more skills. For example, if you acquire this new trading skill in day trading, right? It doesn't mean you start making money right away, right? There's a potential. You have to work at it. You have to practice at it, because now you, with that acquired knowledge and that acquired skill, you have to put it into practice, rather than just let it, you think it's gonna, once you learn it, it's gonna just come just like that. Well, and it doesn't really come like that. You have to put practice, like any type of athlete. You have to put the practice in, right? So that's why I think skills are very important. Once you learn that, you have the potential again to make more money. So you came here to find out what are E-mini futures. Since I see Jovito here is more of a forex trader, and Delta is a futures trader, so he knows what futures is. He's trading exactly what I'm trading right now. But for Jovito, basically, what a futures, what E-mini futures are, is basically that. It's a, this is just a example when it was first introduced, right? It was basically used to deliver a physical product, and that physical product is usually a commodity, either gold, oil, corn, coffee, any type of commodity, where it was, where the futures contract was originally created to deliver a physical product in the near future, or on a date that is ahead, or a future date, I should say, right? And there are two types of people who enter or trade in the futures market. There's what we call hedgers, and there's a lot of people called speculators. Okay. Now with speculators, we basically do that. There's no physical product handling. There's nothing like that. It's basically speculating on the price of the movement, right? We speculate on the price of that particular. Let me see if I can write this pen here. Yeah, that won't let me write. I think I just have no I just don't have any ink on my pen here, which is weird. So anyways, we speculate the price. So who are the hedgers? So, or what are the hedgers? The hedgers are, they're composed of two people or two parties. The first hedger is the one who produces the commodity, right? And the second hedger is the one who consumes the commodity. Again, those are two parties of the hedgers. Okay, so you have, again, right here, you have a producer and you have a user. Now, the hedgers, here's a simple illustration. For example, you have a farmer here who harvests or plants coffee beans, and these are the raw product. You can see it's the raw physical product. Okay, I'll answer that later, Delta. So here's a physical product, coffee beans, right? He harvests it. So what does a coffee farmer do with the coffee beans? He doesn't hold it. He usually sells it to another party, or let's say in this example, let's say Starbucks or any type of coffee house. These are really considered what we call intermediaries or middlemen, because what they do is they convert the raw product, which here are coffee beans, into a liquid form and sell it to us, who are the end users. Okay, so we are the end users, as well as a Starbucks. They're the end users, but they process it even more and sell it to their customers as well. So those are the two types of hedgers: the one who produces the commodity and the one who consumes the commodity or buys the commodity from the producer. Okay. So here are some examples of E-mini futures. Again, what do? We speculate. What do we mean by we speculate? We basically speculate if the price is going to go up or if it's the price is going to go down. We speculate on the fluctuation of the price of a certain commodity, a certain index, and so forth. So here are some examples of some E-mini futures that a lot of traders trade. The most popular ones in the agricultural commodities are the wheat, corn, soybeans, livestock, pork bellies. What else? You have orange juice and so forth. Energy futures, the most popular one here is crude oil. I know some crude oil traders who was trading crude oil before the crisis in Russia, with Russia and Ukraine. Crude oil was only trading around $10 around there, $10 a barrel. But when the crisis began, and now it's an all-out war, that since that war began, crude oil went up as high as over $120 a barrel, but now kind of stabilizing now a little below $100 right now. But like I said before, the conflict started, it was trading at around $10 a barrel. A lot of people are now trading natural gas, and the one in the metals, there's gold and silver, the most popular ones. Right now, Marcello is trading in silver miners or silver. He's making a lot of money. He's trading silver right now. The other ones are the stock indices. Again, when you take my course, what I teach is basically trading on the S&P 500 index, not any individual stock, but the index. Okay. You also have the other U.S. Stock index, the Nasdaq, as well as the Dow. However, you can also trade two other stock indices, which is the Nikkei, which is the Japanese index, and also the DAX, which is the German Deutsch market, German Deutsch exchange in Germany. So those are two additional stock indices, but not in the US, but based in Japan as well as in Germany. Another one, for example, here, Jovito, you're one of the forex traders. You can also trade currency futures, right? The euro, the Japanese yen, the most of the major pairs. Okay. So if you want to trade currencies, you can also do it on futures, but in a more safe environment rather than being manipulated. So what are E-mini futures? So basically, the E-mini futures are traded in one exchange. It's called the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, or the CME. And the CME basically was founded back in 1997, and it's now the largest financial exchange company in the world. Again, they're regulated by the CFTC. So how did we get the term E-mini futures? A lot of people ask that. And to tell you the truth, hold on, I'm just trying to get a pen here because I just really want to highlight this thing here. I don't know why it doesn't want to load. Really weird. Okay, so let's continue. The mini version, what they did was with the original regular size contracts, are we call regular size, you need at least 100,000 US dollars to trade, okay, in the futures exchange when it first came out. Not a lot of people had that much money to trade. So what they did was the CME decided to introduce what they call the mini. The mini, because it's the mini version of the regular size contract, and the mini is basically the 1/5 of the size of the original contract. And that's why they get the term mini. How did they get E? So now, now all the trading pits or the trading pits in the futures have been closed since 2015. They're now being traded online. That's why it's called E for electronic. So all this was made so that it can be more accessible to the retail traders. What do we mean by retail traders? Retail traders are the ones who have not that much capital to trade, not like $100,000 to trade, something even smaller. So that's why it made it more accessible to to the retail traders like you and I. We are considered as retail traders. Okay. Now, who regulates the E-mini futures market? So basically, first of all, the E-mini futures market is the most regulated market in the world. The most heavily regulated derivatives markets available. There are three separate types or three levels of regulation. First of all, you have the exchange regulation. The CME regulates the CME as well. You have the independent self-regulatory body, which is the NFA, the, that's short for National Futures Association. And you have the government body, the federal regulatory body, which is known as CFTC, Commodity Futures Trade Commission. Okay, so with these three tiers of oversight, the level of futures regulation exceeds that found in any other security of derivative market. In Forex, there's no such thing. Combined with the fact that a broker does not, again, this is important, combined with the fact that a broker does not act as a direct counterparty to any futures transactions you make, thereby removing the conflicts of interest that can occur in other securities. For example, Forex, they are not what you call centralized, they're decentralized. What does that mean? Like I said, I traded Forex before. If you read the contract when you open an account, in fine print, it says there, we may take a position against your trade. And how is that? So meaning you're not only fighting against the market, but you're also fighting against the broker. You're basically battling against them because they're taking a position against your trade. How can you make money with that? So here with futures, there's no such thing. They do not take a direct counterparty to any futures trades that we make. That's how transparent they are, not like in Forex. In Forex, there's some brokers that take a position against your trade. So be wary about that when they say, yes, they're regulated, but regulated by who? That's the question. And that's why, that's one of the things I decided to convert or move over to the futures market. And here in the Philippines, not a lot of people know about futures. That's why I'm trying to introduce this market here in the Philippines, especially to all the Forex traders, as well as the stock traders. Because if you're trading stocks right now, you won't make that much money since the stock market is actually going down because of this, of the uncertainty and also the high cost of commodities as well as the high interest rates, right? So anyways, here's another one. Another thing is about crypto. A lot of people now here in the Philippines and also all over the world, they're trading crypto. It's a bright new shiny object now because they see people out making a lot of money. That's why they decided to trade crypto. But as you can see, just like in Forex, it's what? Decentralized. It's not regulated. So when you have this type of scenario or industry where it's unregulated, what happens? There's going to be a chance that your account will be hacked or get stolen since there's no one regulating it. It's like trading the wild, wild west. So what happened here, back here, I know Axie became so popular, not only here in the Philippines, but also globally, where people will be playing the game Axie Infinity, and they can make money, right? They're called scholars who make money playing the game. So what happened was, that was taking off in a big way. What happened? They had the crypto hackers who were hacked into the market, and what happened? They stole a lot of people's money. I know some students who are in my class right now. They did that. They lost over. I know one student lost over 200,000 pesos. One, I know, just crypto in general, in Bitcoin, she got scammed over 1 million pesos, which is close to, I don't know how much is it, $20,000 US. That's a lot. That's why, it's unregulated, and that's why I would not. The best thing to do there, like I said, if you have extra money to invest, do that. Invest, but don't trade, because the fluctuations there are so big that you have to risk a lot of money just to day trade it. It's better to hold and just invest. Okay. So again, what is the ES futures? What we call S&P 500 stock market index. That's what it means. So what is the S&P 500 stock market index? It's basically the 500 blue chip companies in the U.S. For example, Apple, Amazon, Google, Microsoft, and so forth. They are the top 500 companies in the U.S. And the thing is, we don't trade the individual stock. We trade the market as a whole. And that's very important for us day traders, because again, we don't trade just one particular stock. We trade it as a whole. And I'll show you what that means. Like for example, right here, this is the S&P 500 index. So this index means you see a price is going up this way. That means the average price of the top 500 stocks in the US are also going up, the average price of each stock. When the price is going down in the index, that means the average price of the top 500 blue chip companies in the US is also going down. It's basically the average of all the 500 blue chip companies. That's what the stock index is all about, right? So it's, again, I mentioned before, it's the most actively traded stock index futures in the world. It's over 2.2 million contracts that are being traded on an average day, on a single day. That's why with that many contracts being traded, what does it do? It creates a lot of volatility. And with that volatility, what does that mean? We can get in and out of positions quite easily. That's why we are able to day trade. Okay. Not like here in the Philippine Stock Exchange, there's no volatility. That's why a lot of people are basically investing rather than trading in the stock market. Not like in the US, there you can day trade, but the only thing is, if you day trade stocks in the US, you need at least 25,000 US dollars in your account to day trade. Okay, so how do we make money in this trading futures? Now, with the strategy that I teach in the ES, it's very quite easily. So, for example, again, I know that Delta Bravo knows all about this, but I just want to cover this with Jovito. And so, how do we make money? For example, here is the price on the index, right? We make money by the movement, the incremental price movement, which we call a tick. So one tick movement here is basically from 31.19 to 31.19.25 or 31.18.75. That considers one tick. So that one tick movement equals $12.50. So in our strategy that I teach, the legacy strategy, our take profit target is at a minimum is 2 points or $2. For example, if we speculate the price will be going up, we would enter a buy trade right here at 31 and 31.19, and our profit target would be what? If you take it $2, that'd be 31.21. So how many ticks is that from the 31.19 to 31.21? It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 ticks times $12.50 is $100. So that's the minimum amount you can make in the trade in the strategy that I teach, the legacy strategy. So what if you speculated the price is going to go down? So we put a sell order at 31.19, and our target will be 2 points below, which is going to be 31.17. And again, our target is 2 ticks or $2 down there. We would make another $100. So therefore, we make money when the market is going up or down, not like in the stock market, right? In Forex, you can do the same thing, right? But that's how we make it. That's how we make money trading futures. Oh, by the way, in stocks, for example, you make every $1 you make or $1 you invest, basically you get back $1. In the futures, the ES futures, you profit. Let's say there's a movement of $1, right? 31.19 to 31.20. That's a profit of $50, meaning the ES futures is leveraged 50 to 1. For every $1 you trade and you make a profit, you make $50. Okay, rather than not like in the stock market, you invest $1 and you make $1, 1 to 1, no leverage. But in futures, there is leverage, just like in Forex. But I think it's more leveraged in the futures. Okay. Again, let me see here. The CME introduced what we call the micro futures, which I trade. Not the MES, but more of MNQ, which is the NASDAQ, which moves a lot. It was introduced back in 2019 by the CME. And why did they introduce this? Well, it also allowed a lot of people who do not have a lot of money to invest. For example, a lot of Forex traders, they don't have much money to trade, but that's why they like trading Forex, because you only need between $50 to $100 to enter and start trading. So what they did was, what the CME did was to introduce, now we call micro, ES or micro futures. And what it is basically there's a minimum amount, not as much as opening a live account with trading regular e-minis, but now you only require maybe $500, depending on what broker you open it with, to trade micros. So meaning, if you remember, we talked about the tick size on the e-mini was $12.50. On the micro, it's 1/10 the size. So meaning that's $1.25 per tick. Again, you risk a lot. You risk less. Yeah, I should say you are risking a lot less than you would if you were trading the regular e-minis. But then again, your profit is not that much. But that's okay, because this is basically used for people who want to get the feel of trading the futures. In fact, I have a friend who I introduced futures to. He was a big forex. He was making great money in forex until his broker got banned. And what happened was I introduced him to futures. He started off an account with $500. He brought that account to 5,000, more than 5,000. He started trading e-minis, and now his account is well over $25,000. And he was working for a should I say, a pharmacy store in the U.S. He was a manager there, put in a lot of hours, and what happened was he quit that job, and right now he only trades maybe at the most not even 2 hours. He's making between $3,000 to $5,000 a day. And I asked him, "What do you do the rest of your day?" Nothing. Now his hobby is roasting coffee beans. So that's what he does. At least he spends more time with his family, and he gets to do whatever he wants. Before, when the futures were traded, they were being traded in the pit. As you can see here, this is the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. This is what we call the pit, or the outcall pit. I was there. I've been there before. Since this is based in Chicago, I grew up in Chicago. But basically, I lived there. I grew up more in Southern California. So anyways, here are the big boards. This is the boards where it lists the price of the commodities as well as the stock indices, where these traders, you can see these traders here, they have different colored jackets. They represented different brokerage houses. Okay, so when they traded here, it was so loud you can't hear them. So the way they only traded here was basically by what? By hand signals, right? That's how they traded. So back in 2015, it closed down. Now everything is done online. So here is an example of what the Chicago Mercantile Exchange pit was like.
Even if you've never been to the famed trading pits, chances are you know what they look like and sound like.
South on in April of 142!
Featured in films like Trading Places and Ferris Bueller's Day Off, the trading pits at the Chicago Mercantile Exchange were loud and hectic. On July 6th, the futures pit in Chicago and New York, where buying and selling sets the prices for commodities like gold, wheat, and corn, roars one last time. The 167-year-old tradition of open outcry futures operations ends after the closing bell on Monday.
For example, if I'm trying to buy 25 at 4 1/4, I would be saying that and also doing the hand signals at the same time. And then the opposite person would be saying, okay, I'm selling you 25 at 4 1/4. And so then we'd understand that I was buying and they were selling.
Virginia McGathy, a grain trader on the Chicago Mercantile Exchange floor, just finished her last shift in the pit. In short, blame the computers. CME Group, which operates the trading pits in New York and Chicago, is shifting to electronic dealing. And CME Group held off on going all digital, even as rivals in New York and London embraced electronic trading.
It's really heartbreaking on a particular level that it's ending this way. And I think in talking with some of the other traders, the fact that we can't leave a legacy to children and grandchildren that this is the end of the road, it's just definitely not the same on a computer, not at all.
And not all the pits are closing. One exception is the S&P 500 futures market, which remains open on the Chicago trading floor. And another sign of changing times, fans of CME Group can track the company on several social media sites, including Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest.
So it said there, the S&P 500 futures pit is still open. No, that it's all closed. It closed down back in 2015. That video was made back in 2015 when it was shut down. So question is, how do we day trade E-mini futures? Not only trade it, but how do we day trade it? Again, before I get into that, I want to explain what are the differences between day traders and investors, like I had uh, briefly mentioned right before. So there are two types who basically trade or invest in the market, any type of market, either stocks or even forex, or here in futures, or any type. So anyways, there are two types. There are ones we call investors, and there are ones who call day traders. So let's cover the topic of investors. The investors are in it for the long term, right? So basically, with this, investors are basically in it for the long run, meaning for months or for years. Here in the Philippines, a lot of people who trade, or should I say, I don't consider it trading in the Philippine stock market. I call it investing, because most people who invest in the stocks here in the Philippines have to hold it for more than several years to realize a profit. Just like when you are a real estate investor, right? Real estate investors, to realize a profit, they have to hold on to that investment for long term, meaning years before they realize a profit, right? Again, another one, a good investor is another, like I said, cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin. People bought it well below 10,000 at one point. It was less than $50. So those people who still held it made a killing. It took them several years though, because by that time, it got as high as 65,000 US dollars for one Bitcoin, which maybe they purchased at $50 or even $1,000. That's still a big killing, but they didn't trade it. They held on to it. They invested in it. So that's the difference between from what investors do. They hold on to it. What they do is basically they place the retirement or savings account into the market with a simple premise that the market will go up over time, thus netting them a profit to the investor. Okay. Whereas in day trading, we realize our profit or our loss on a daily basis. It can either be a profit or a loss. Again, losing is part of trading. It depends on how you manage those losses, right? So we as day traders, we're in the market for as little as a few hours. Again, with a legacy strategy, I'm not in the market. My average time when I'm done trading is usually less than 1 hour. I realize my profit goal or my loss, because I have to manage my losses as well. And losing any type, you talk to any professional trader, losing is part of trading. You have to accept that. You have to know how to manage those losses, right? Um, Again, with us, we were done with our system within 1 hour, but at the most, we're in the market for at the most at 2 hours, and that's it. After 2 hours, we quit trading because we don't want to overtrade. So the principle of day trading is basically making money off the fluctuations of the market. Whether it's rising or falling, we still profit. Again, our focus is on price action and momentum, and it's not really spent on hours and research like you do on stocks, but also we don't scan a lot of charts, not like you do in Forex. In Forex, you're at least scanning what? At least a minimum of 26 charts, because those are the 26 major pairs, right? Whereas in this one, we're only focused in one market, and that's the ES, or the S&P 500 stock market index, just one market. So therefore, you will get to know the patterns of that market. Once you know that pattern, you know where the sweet spot is or when to be profitable. And our strategy, or the legacy strategy, teaches that. Okay. So we only need, like it says here, a quick 5-minute market analysis to know where, what the bias of the market is and where we plan to enter. We're going to be going long or going short, again, depending on what we see in front of us. Our typical time of trading, like I said, is between 1 to 2 hours. The maximum is 2 hours, but usually what I average right now is around 1 hour. What is the legacy strategy, and why? What makes it so different than any other strategies? For example, those are people like, for example, here, Jovito, you're trading forex, right? You're basically trading, I'm assuming, on time-based candlestick charts, right? Because I don't think you can do tick because there's no really real volume in forex. It's more made up by the brokers. But we trade the tick chart, or otherwise known as a transaction based charts. They're based on number of transactions, basically more volume, well, basically based on transactions. That's why it's called the tick chart. So when we trade, why is the tick chart a lot better than time-based chart? First of all, it gives us more opportunities to enter trades when there is low volatility or low volume in the market. On top of that, when there is high volatility, it gives us even more opportunities to enter a trade. And also with this legacy strategy, we can have a lot more losing trades than we do winning trades. Because why? Because our risk to reward ratio is at least 2 to 1, meaning every $1 we risk, we make at least $2. So therefore, we can lose more than we win because our winners are bigger. That's the reason why. So therefore, you should not be scared of losing, because the number one thing about traders is the mentality, the mindset of traders, that they don't want to lose money or lose a trade. That shouldn't be the case. Like I said, losing is part of the game, or part of the job description. But the thing is, you have to learn how to manage those losses, right? Um, Again, here's a chart. See here, there's a 5-minute chart, meaning each of these candles here or bars, it's 5 minutes. So every 5 minutes, this bar here would close, it would create another bar. After 5 minutes, that would close and create another bar, and so forth. So this is what we call a 5-minute 5-minute bar or 5-minute chart. You have other charts. The most popular ones are the 15-minute, 30-minute, 1 hour, 4 hours, or even the daily, where each candle in that daily chart would close every 24 hours. Okay, so that's more time based. Whereas in tick charts, they are more based on what? On a number of transactions. For example, on this tick chart here, this tick chart is based on 1,597 ticks, meaning each bar here represents 1,597 transactions before it would close and create another bar. And this happens really fast because there's a lot of volatility that's going on in the market. So you can see here, you can see it down here where I highlighted, it began at midnight on April 26th, ran all the way to close to 2 p.m. You can see there's a lot of opportunities as you compare that to the 5-minute. You see this, the same thing. This is what you see, 12 midnight there all the way to 2 p.m. And you see how that's moving. It's also going down, but we have a lot more opportunities as compared here to the tick chart. You're going to enter here when we have a pullback and come back down. Again, we have a lot more opportunities in entering trades as compared to a time-based chart. Now, the legacy strategy that we teach is basically we let you focus and help you read and understand how the market moves. That's the way when I teach my basic is basically we focus on how the market moves, basically on price action, right? We've perfected a strategy by keeping a few things in mind. We keep it simple, meaning the KISS system. Some people know it as a keep it simply simple, or for me, I knew it as keep it simple stupid, but we'll keep it simply simple. And why is it simply simple? Because we strictly only focus on one market, the S&P 500 index, and that's it. No other charts except that. Again, with that, we can win more than we are. The legacy strategy, the winning rate is average around 70%, depending which setup you trade. Because some setups are has higher probability than other trade setups, right? So there's basically 3 trade setups that you'll learn in the basic strategy. Okay, and there's the setups are more, you win more because the win rate is a lot higher. And like I said, the simplicity is because, again, we only trade one chart with 3 simple indicators, and that's it. Not a lot of indicators, just only 3 simple indicators. And the thing is, it's a rules-based system. That means that you become a disciplined trader. When you follow the plan, it's a rules-based system. You have to follow the plan or follow the rules, or else you will not be as profitable. because it's rules based. Therefore, if you follow the rules, it makes you become a more disciplined trader. And when you become a disciplined trader, that's where you find a lot of successful traders, because they're disciplined traders. Again, you can make a living using our daily, our legacy strategy. In fact, that's what I'm doing right now. And the reason why it's good to trade is because it doesn't matter how the market is moving, because the system, otherwise known, is also known as a congressive system, meaning if there's low volatility in the market, we become more more conservative in our profit target. However, when there's more volatility, like now in the markets right now because of the uncertainty, we then our profit targets are more aggressive. Because like I said, we usually target 2 points or $100. But now when there's a lot of volatility, I can easily get 10 points, which is a $500 trade easily. That's for me. But eventually, you'll see when you progress into the strategy, you'll learn how to do that. Okay. Again, see here, sometimes we make an exception depending how the skill. This is a skill we teach our traders to understand between how to adjust to the market volatility. Again, it says here you can lose, like as I mentioned before, you can lose most of the trades and still make money with the legacy strategy. How? Because of the risk to reward ratio. Again, like I said, excuse me, we can risk $1 and make $2, and that's our minimum. Okay. So here's the thing: if you have a trade setup where you can lose 60% of the time and still become profitable, that's actually pretty good, right? In fact, here I'm going to show you one thing on some of my. This is what I average usually. You see, this is basically I just took the snapshot back in May, where I made a net profit of 1,400, and this is what in less than 2 hours of trading, right? Because the market was really moving. But look at this. I only had a win rate of what 45%, right? But look at this. My average winning trade is 359 or 360, let's say. My average losing trade is only 159. That gave me a win to risk to reward ratio of 2.25. And you can see here, my largest winning trade was 1,200 or close to $1,300. My average or my largest losing trade was only 228. That's what I mean, where you can lose you can lose more and still be profitable. That's why don't be scared, right, of losing, or don't be scared of being wrong. Again, once you understand the 2-to-1 risk to reward ratio, you will not, in your mindset, not be scared to be wrong about a trade. Okay. And that's very important for a trader's mindset, because the number thing is trader's mindset. That's the number one thing. Again, it's 80% to be a successful trader. It's not about how good you are in technical analysis. Number one thing is it's 10% technical analysis, 90 to 95% is the mindset. That's the reason why not a lot of traders are that successful, because their mindset is wrong. They're either too scared to enter a valid trade setup because they don't want to lose money, or they get greedy. They win quickly and they start, well, if I won this amount of money in less than 10 minutes, if I trade more, I can get more money. That's being greedy. That's why you have to control those two aspects of your emotion in terms of being a successful trader. And that's what we teach you guys, or what I teach my students. Okay. So here's my live trade room, which was last night I had. So I was able to upload this, and here it is. Let me see if I can find it. Here we are.
Order submit, order filled.
Instead of a stop. Again, scalping 2 points, you would have got 2 points in the other trade, the trade before this, and got a 2 points here again on this trade. So again, you're scalping 2 points. I'm trying to get 3 here, but based on that deviation level. Best way to end the day like that. 10-point trade, a little over 10 points. $500 trade on that one. So you saw that was basically that trade took, it was, you can see, well, it wasn't in real time, but in real time it was less than 10 minutes. If you can see when you saw that thing there, it was basically less than 10 minutes. It took 7 minutes for that one particular trade to get 10 points. And that was a a little over $500 trade. So if you know the system, if you know how to read the market, that's what you can do, and that's what I teach my students. Again, like I said in the room, I said there, the last if you only targeted 2 points, you would have gotten every trade that I called easily, $100 each trade. You would have been done in 3 trades, and you're done for the day. Okay, I tell my students, if you can make $200 to $300 a day, quit. Do it again the next day. Do that again and again, and I'll tell you about how that works in a funded account. Okay, later. So how can I create, or how can you guys create your own success, right? Because that's why we're here. We want to create another second income stream, or potentially become our only income stream. First of all, learn the trade, the legacy strategy. Learn the strategy that I use and my students use to get a funded account, right? Rather than just trading the market blindly. Pass the evaluation. The evaluation is basically a test by the prop firms to ensure that you are a profitable trader and you know how to manage losses, right? And once you pass that evaluation, they give you a funded account. You don't risk your own money. They give you a funded trading account, anywhere from a minimum of 25,000 US dollars to over 300,000 US dollars. And after you get a funded account, then you can withdraw your funds. I have several students now who are withdrawing their profits from their funded accounts. Again, with these some of these prop firms that I'm with, you keep the first, let's say one prop firm, you keep the first $12,500 in profit, you keep 100%. Another one, you keep the first $10,000 in profit, and after that, once you reach that profit goal, then you would keep 80 to 90% of your profits. One firm, you keep 90%, another firm, you keep 80% of the profits you make with their money. So rather than you risk your money, you risk their money. And if you lose that live account, say you lost money there, there's no loan to pay back. You just take you out of that fund, and you have to retest back again to get back into the fund. Okay. Again, with Day Trade Asia, I've mentored students in securing over $700,000. I'm close to 1 million now. Since you'll see, I've 3 more students who got funded over 50. They got funded $50,000. We've secured. We helped them secure proprietary funds from our affiliated proprietary funding firms. Here are our affiliations with these funding firms. One is called the Apex Trader Funding, Lilu, Earn to Trade, and also UProfit. So here's what we call the typical funding, right? This is with Apex Trader. This is an evaluation account. Say you want to be tested to get a funded account, right? For example, here's a $25,000. You have to pay a fee to get that valuation account. And right now, it's usually priced like this, $83.50. That's what the current sale they're having right now. They usually have a sale. I recommend my students a 50,000. So the goal here is to hit the profit goal. You're given at least 1 month to hit a $3,000 profit goal without hitting your threshold, without incurring losses of $2,500. And you do that once you pass this test, then they give you a funded account for that amount that you tested on. For example, if you tested it, you have an evaluation account for $50,000. That's the amount of money that they will fund you, $50,000. Okay. For me, when I passed my first funded account, it was with Top Step Trader. I got a $10,000 account. This was back in 2020, as you can see. And that was my first taste of getting a funded account. Because before I was trading my own money. And so I said, you know what, let me try it. And basically it was true to the point that they would give you the money to trade and you just had to be profitable. I got also funded by UProfit. I got another $25,000 there. And also another one, 25,000 with Lidl. And the most recent one, you can see the dates here, December 8th. The most recent one was in May. I got a 50,000 US dollar trading account. So right now, all in all, I'm trading around 4 funded accounts, right? And that's what I trade, rather than risk my own money. And here are some of my students, right? Here are some of my students who've been funded. And I'll give you the other ones who got updated this week. In fact, they got funded this week. But here's a video of all of the students that I've helped get funded by. They basically traded the strategy that I teach them. Okay, so here, hold on. So if you noticed, some students had more than one trading account or one funded account. Some have 2, and some have actually now 3. That girl you saw in the beginning, Christine Koo, she now actually has 3 funded accounts. Here is the most recent one. Here you can see his name is Ishwar. I call him Ish for short. He was a student. He just basically completed his 6-week course last month. Yeah, it was just last month. And after 1 month, he was able to get his funded account of 50,000 US dollars. In fact, here's what comment he made on that is basically right here. Thanks, Dominic. And he took several courses. He was not profitable, right? But he paid for those trainings. But he said, I've never been where I really learned a lot here, and that's why I helped him get a funded account. Okay, and where's Ish from? I think he is in the U.S. He's in Texas. That's where he's from. Um, Here's another one. This one's Canadian. He's from Toronto. His name's Ray Akayan. He's also Filipino Canadian. He's a professional trader. At one point, he basically got 10 funded $150,000 trading accounts all at one time because he used a trade copy, which I also use. And so basically, from Apex, he was able to get at least $1.5 million in capital to trade. Right? That's why if you learn how to trade the system, that's what you can do. In fact, I have some traders right now who are another Filipino guy in the U.S. He has 10 funded trading accounts right now. Again, here's some ones who went through my class just recently, and they decided to give me basically a video testimony. And this is the ones who just graduated last month, in fact. In fact, you saw one of the guys before, his name is June. He basically retired. He's a airline pilot for Philippine Airlines here in the Philippines. And he got more focused on trading. And remember, he said, this is what he got. He got funded a $50,000 account.
I learned about DTA in the internet, and I was lucky enough to meet Marcelo in person and Dominic, who is our Filipino mentor. Since I'm nearing my retirement, I'm planning to trade after I retire with futures. And I really hope that since I just started about 3 months ago, I think I'm doing quite well as what Dominic told me. And I'm looking forward to improving my trading. Best way really to learn is to be with a mentor who knows what he's doing.
I traded 4 hours, I made $800. Hello everyone, my name is William Scott Hudson, I go by my middle name. I'm 57 years old, retired from the United States Air Force. I do have a bachelor's degree in finance and insurance from Virginia Tech. Tried candlestick courses, I bought a bunch of courses on Udemy, I did some of the free ones online, and it was all just confusing. So I found out about this course. I was hesitant at first. I didn't know what to expect, but I can just tell you off the bat, I'll just say up front, Day Trade Asia, the Day Trade Academy, I'm very, very happy. It was worth every penny I paid. My win percentage is really good on trades. I like the basic strategy they use. It's rule-based. I like rules. I don't like unnecessary risks. So I like the rules, and they're easy to learn. I traded 4 hours, I made $800. But overall, the course is great. I would do it again. I'll probably take the next course eventually, Lord willing. And it was just a great time. The instructor was great. The curriculum was great. Nothing but high praise for that. And just real thankful for the opportunity I had, and excited to see where the future goes and using this legacy strategy that I learned from Day Trade Asia and Dominic. Thanks everyone, take care. Wish you all the best.
So it is a legitimate strategy that I teach, and you can also learn the same thing. So in terms of that, again, a lot of people say, in fact, if you take all the courses that you see online, they make you believe once you take the course that you can make a lot of money. I always tell my students, be careful. It's not that easy, and that's what I always tell my students. If you put the time and effort to learn it, the system that the legacy strategy that I teach, you'll be able to learn how to trade and become profitable. Again, it's about if you do it well, if you put the time to learn the strategy. Again, it's about focus and being ready to put in the time. It doesn't just, once you learn the system, it's not going to come like that. And that's what a lot of education firms do. Once you learn the system, they let you go because now you know the system. But again, there's a lot of great systems out there, but if it's based on technical analysis, There are a lot of good systems, but the thing is, number one thing, it's about the mindset, the psychology of trading, right? So question is, how much is this that I teach, the legacy strategy? Again, it's a 6-week course. Here's the syllabus. For week 1, you'll learn the basics, not only the E-mini features, but also the tick chart, the indicators that we use, how to identify momentum, and how to determine direction shifts. We also do trends and transitions. So basically, this whole 6 weeks, like everyone who's been funded took the 6-week program. They learned the basic trade setups, which is basically only 3: the V1, the V2, and V3. The T1 is basically a V1 on steroids. But other than that, I basically evaluate all your sim trading using the system to make sure that you're doing it right, right? So I don't let you just go on and trade on a sim account. I make sure that you are trading it correctly. And once I determine that, I give you a test, a mock test, where you can hit a profit target of $3,000 without incurring or hitting the drawdown. Then once you pass that, then I'll tell you guys, go ahead and take the evaluation test. Therefore, you won't be risking a lot of money if you're trading your own money. This one, you have an opportunity to trade another prop firm's money. Again, all this is $397. And in Philippine currency, that's around 22,500 pesos, which is a lot cheaper than, I know I see there's a lot of courses here in the Philippines, which is a lot more. And it's worth the investment. It's not a cost, it's an investment. Like I said, some of my traders who are withdrawing from their funded accounts, their minimum withdrawal is $1,000. It already pays fully for the course. That's your return in your investment, right? So basically, that's what this basically 6-week course. And I'm going to open this up to any questions you might have. In fact, I have some questions here from Delta. Let me see here. Can you also suggest what other software subscriptions I will have to take to trade your method? No, it's all included in that price. The $397 right there. It includes the indicators, lifetime access to the online curriculum. Now, if you want to learn advanced strategies, with a lot of students who got funded or even got done taking, they want to learn advanced, that's going to be another. The advanced strategies or advanced course gives you more setups. And if you saw when I was trading, I was using what we call the VWAP. That gave you the deviation levels. That's another advanced strategy. The one I teach you, the basic ones, people who just trade the basic ones still get funded. So it's up to you. I leave it up to you. I don't try to push the upsell. If you want to learn the advanced course, then go ahead. Most of the people I know, they get funded. They use the same profits to get the advanced course. Okay. I will have to trade. Wait, I have canceled all my subscriptions like TradingView. Okay, yeah. And my broker account, by reloaded it, but reloaded, I can't leave trading. Okay. Yeah, in fact, there's no subscription. In fact, when you go for an evaluation account and you get funded, they give you a free license to NinjaTrader. You don't have to buy a lifetime license like I do. I have a lifetime license with NinjaTrader, but they give you a free license. In fact, I have another funding firm that actually gives you a free license to TradingView if you get funded by them, or if you start an evaluation with them, they give you a free license to TradingView. Okay. Please keep it to yourself, just like you. I almost lost. Yeah. I mean, okay, sorry. No, I think every other traders who go through the trading journey lose money. Okay. So that's the reason why I know how the traders' mindset is. Okay. All the traders I've encountered, they've lost lots of money. So it's not only you. I know a lot of people who lost their money, and but anyways, Delta, thank you for sharing that. But like I said, I know exactly what you went through. I went through the same thing, and so it's very important that I don't let my students go through the same thing. So basically, that's why I like to evaluate their sim trading before I tell them, go ahead, and now you can try for the evaluation test to get funded. Okay. Is it a fixed tick chart, or you change that based on the ATR? No, it's fixed 610. Okay. I use my basic strategy based on the 610 tick chart. That's it. Sometimes I do use the 987, but that's based on the VWAP. Okay. But most of the time, especially if I'm trading the micros, I use a 987 tick chart, which I think is better. But because again, we use with the VWAP. But this basic strategy that you learn, we only use it on a 610 tick chart. Okay. What indicators? Only three. There's the Keltner channel, the MACD BB, and what we call the proprietary indicator, what we call the fill line. You learn that when you take the course. Can I ask why 1597? Okay. For example, the tick charts that I gave you, the 610, the 9, what are they? They are what we call the fib sequence, right? Everything's based on Fibonacci's. Human life is based on Fibonacci's. Human nature is based on Fibonacci. Human behavior is based on human behavior or on Fibonacci's. That's why when you see how the markets move, when they call, I don't know if you use what we call the fib retracement and extension, it actually does work because it basically is the human behavior of people. In fact, I use it. You'll see in some of my trades, I use it and it hits the extension to the T. Okay, that's what the 1597 is. Another fib sequence, higher time frame. How do you handle highly volatile markets like the current one? Do you stop trading? No. Like I said, this system is congressive. When I see that, yeah, I increase maybe my, and that's why with this volatility, I just go trade the micros, the micro in Q. You risk less, but you can make a lot. In fact, yesterday, basically I put a set and forget trade on a micro. I made, I think, it said there $600 on that one trade. I was trading 5 contracts on a micro, and I knew that my risk wasn't that bad, so I ended up going to sleep. When I woke up, I was up $600. Okay, that's why when there's a lot of volatility, I tend to start trading the micros, less risk, and that's even better. In fact, I always recommend my students, if they want to, once they get a funded account, start trading micros, and that's when you may want to take the advanced course, how to trade the micros. Any questions? That's good questions there, Delta. What else? Do you have any more questions? How about you, Jovito? You have any questions? Any more questions before I go? Oh, by the way, my next class, I think I mentioned it was August. Let me see. I gotta look at my schedule here. I just remember what I saw. Yeah, I sent it to your email, Delta. That's my next class. So if you want to get in, let me know. In fact, here, I'm going to send you by email a registration where you can register if you want to sign up. Jovito, you're not sure. What are you not sure about? About futures, or you're not sure about what? Maybe more. Or you're not sure if you don't have any questions, or is it too overwhelming right now? None. Again, if you have any questions, in fact, here I'm gonna put this. Okay. If you have any questions, again, when you get an email after this webinar, my email address is there. But then again, if you want to get it here, I'm typing it here. If you have any questions or concerns, here's my email address right there. And by the way, you do not have to have, you don't even have to have experience in trading. In fact, you see there, Christian Q, she had no experience whatsoever. In fact, she emigrated to Canada. She's in Vancouver because she's working in the hotel industry over there. What happened during the pandemic was all tourists, all tourism stopped, right? So she lost her job there in the hotel industry because tourism stopped. So she had no other job to go. So she saw my Facebook, and so she asked if she needed to have experience. I said no. When she took the course, she didn't even know what a trading chart. She looked at the chart and said, "What is this? Is this?" She really said, "I don't know. Think I can learn this because this looks so confusing." But I broke it down for her. Where now she already has 3 funded accounts from a person who has no experience in trading whatsoever. Not even Forex, not even stocks, not even nothing. That's why I'm so proud of her. In fact, she's teaching other students right now in Canada. Or you can see us how to do the course and trade while having a full-time job. Or you can suggest how to do the course and trade while yeah. In fact, like I said, your job, it really depends, because the thing is, it only takes two hours at the most, not even 2 hours. In fact, you see Ish there, he has a full-time job. He took the course and he said, you know what, this is the best thing I ever did, because he hates his job. You saw that one who just got funded. He has a full-time job. In fact, he's working 14 hours a day. And he was able to practice, so that didn't stop him. Like a lot of people come up with excuses. Like I said, if you really want to learn, you're going to learn, and that's what Ish said. He just took out the time because he wanted to get out of his job, and that's the reason why. So this gave him a stepping stone. How do you? Can you suggest how to do the course? Yeah. In fact, if you can't make the live class, you can view the recorded, and just if you have any questions, you can do assignments. Everything is done on Telegram, so you upload your assignments, I evaluate it, and like I said, you can do it remotely or say on demand, Delta. So when you have that time, just study that, upload your assignments, I look at it again, I evaluate, see if you're doing what you're doing wrong. Then I'll tell you what, I want to make sure that you're comprehending all the subject or the subject matter that I'm teaching. That's why I have you do the assignments. But again, if you have a job, but again, that's your excuse. But there's always a way around that if you really want to learn. Because again, all my live sessions or my classes are recorded. It's uploaded to the Telegram, and you can view it anytime you want. And if you have any questions, you just post a question in the Telegram chat, and I'll answer it as soon as I can. Okay? Any other questions? Again, a full-time job doesn't stop anyone. Like I said, Ish, I had other people who had full-time jobs who took the course and got a funded account. Even there's another guy there named Richmond. He was losing money in his businesses because he had because of the pandemic. When he learned the thing, now he has 3 funded accounts. So he doesn't have to rely not only just on his business. Okay, any more before I go? And if you do, again, Delta, let me know if you want to sign up before, okay? Just send me an email. And again, thanks for taking the time to attend this webinar. Oh, by the way, you guys want the ebook? Send me I think I have your email when you registered here. I'll send you 2 ebooks. One is actually the system that that you guys are gonna learn. You can read about it. Another one is more of the psychology. It's called Trading in the Zone. And again, that's the most important thing in trading is the mindset, the psychology of trading. Okay. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. And again, thank you for taking the time. In fact, Jovito, when you registered, is that your email you registered with, Jovito? Correct? Let me know. So that's where I'm going to send the ebooks. Yeah, okay, that's the email you registered with. Okay, good. So I'll send it out to that email. Okay. Enjoy your weekend, stay safe, and God bless. Take care, guys. Good night. Bye-bye.